Talk a little about achievements and what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, we kind of we got away with something, which is you could think of this as one game, but we think of it as 4 games, and so we got 4 sets of achievements. That's 4,000 gamer score, brand new achievements across the board, some returning, some classic ones, and some new ones, and even maybe some cross-game achievements. We'll see. So.
You guys are currently filming the new digital series. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it connects the games to Halo 5?
Yeah, we're filming a digital series with Ridley Scott and director Sergio Mimica-Gazan. It's kind of the origin story of a character that we revealed in the keynote, a guy called Jameson Locke, who's referred to as Agent Locke, at least in that trailer. But you get to find out a lot about his background and a little bit about his future as it relates to Halo 5 in that digital series. It'll stand alone. If you never play the game, it'll still be a cool sort of episodic sequence. And if you never watch that digital series, the game will still make plenty of sense. But I think it'll enrich both experiences if you do both things.
How have you seen things evolve since you guys did Forward Unto Dawn to this series?
You know, we learned a lot making Forward Unto Dawn, and Forward Unto Dawn, weirdly, has been a really huge success for us. It continues to sell on Blu-ray and DVD, it continues to do well in streaming. Fans loved it. I think they were surprised at how well it turned out. This is a bigger, more ambitious project, and I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's going to be significantly more visually impressive, even though we love the stuff in Forward Unto Dawn. We just have more money and more time, and we learned a lot of lessons about how to work with those guys. And you know, we've always been good at standing back and let experts do their thing. When we work with novelists or comic book artists, we always say, now, what do you want to do? What's the right thing to do for your talent and your art? And we've done that here, but we've been also closely involved in making sure this is going to sound dumb, but there's a lot of Halo in it, and you'll get some hints of that even from the visual ID.
How do you feel your background and your work on these digital series will impact the Spielberg television series when that eventually does get made?
I think there's two answers to that question. I think one, it won't change anything. We're going to do what we've always done, which is respect the artists that we work with and let them do the right thing for the medium they're going to be working in. But you're right, we've been on this train before, and so at least we know the language, at least we know the environment, and we're, you know, Hollywood's a small town. There's also going to be a lot of the same people involved throughout. So we know when to stand back and we know when to jump in, and I think that our muscle memory has improved dramatically for this kind of linear entertainment, and I think that's going to help everyone. But we like to think of ourselves as a good, flexible partner for these guys, and hopefully they're going to come into it with roughly the same attitude and say what makes this Halo. And we know that's true already. The people we're working with already as we build this have been spectacular to work with.
You guys have used warthogs before in the first franchise. What's it like for you to see these kinds of things that they're making for these TV series in real life?
You know, we have all these props and armor and stuff that looks fantastic, but we have a really big prop in this that I'll save for later. But we built something in real life that's about at least the size of a jumbo jet nose cone that you can walk in and out of, sit in its seats, and kind of explore. And that was a really trippy process to actually go inside something that you've seen in the game countless times. And yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting.
You guys also have some cool locales. I heard Ireland and Europe, in addition to like in the past when you guys worked in Vancouver.
Yeah, everything's filmed abroad on this one. Northern Ireland has a great film industry already, and a lot of movies that Game of Thrones is just the easiest thing, and we met a bunch of those guys. We used the studio that they filmed Game of Thrones in, and a lot of the same talent. So that was kind of awesome. And it's also, Belfast is just a fun place to work and live. But we're also going to be shooting in Iceland and much more remote locations that are going to represent something really special, actually. And I just got some of the grading tests, the sort of color-corrected film tests from the shoot, and I think it's going to look pretty spectacular.
Yeah, in Iceland they've used for Prometheus and a lot of really big movies to give that really outer space feel.
Yeah, Iceland is fantastic because there's a lot of it you haven't seen. I think that was true of New Zealand for Lord of the Rings as well. It felt new and it felt mysterious just because people hadn't filmed there a lot. And you know how Hollywood backlots are, the rocks from Star Trek, and you see them in everything. Iceland is all new, and everything, and good filmmakers find even newer spots. And it actually has a remarkable variety of terrain. I think people think of it as quite desolate, but it has some it has some aspects that are much more visually interesting than Desert, for example. So.